All right, that's on. Welcome to the woods.
Cool.
That's Shane.
How you doing, everyone? Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. The man bun does not function with this. They need to design one of these for man
A hole
buns.
for man bun?
Yeah. I'm gonna start worshiping the sun again.
They want to get back.
Hey, brother.
How you doing?
Ha, this is definitely I think this is Venom. This is where I went over my handlebars and landed in a pricker bush.
Did we go down this as well?
I don't know. If we did, I definitely walked it. This is a fucking nightmare.
Landmine.
Like, who would look at this and be like, yeah, I'm gonna ride a bike down that?
Tricky. I think it's about knowing yourself and knowing what state you're in. It's like a chemical element and what it's bonding with. It just knows naturally based on the laws of physics, chemistry. But we need to understand where we're at to find out where we want to go. We know sometimes without knowing, but then we talk ourselves out of it with our prefrontal cortex. But deep inside, we know instinctually how to get from one point to the other, how to find that. Some people call it Zen, homeostasis in the chemical terms.
It's like the feeling is our compass and the knowing is kind of the map. And we can borrow maps from other people, but without our own internal compass, you're kind of walking blind.
And now we live in a generation that can use an AI map. If it gets you to the point, great. But sometimes that AI map can take you down a path, a big winding road that leaves you more confused.
I guess that's what people's fear is, that AI is going to become a god. Yeah, we kind of turn science into a god in a weird way. But just the way people look at it, you know, that mantra, trust the science. Yeah, well, scientists are people, and if a fact comes out of science, you got to dissect that. Like, all right, what were the factors that were analyzed? What was the sample population? What other factors weren't considered? What bias went into how the experiment was conducted?
You're looking into the deep.
Who paid for it? There's one.
The limited data point.
Look at this, two guys with science degrees bitching about science.
Well, you don't want to just be blindly following it. You always want to question, even in science, right? Curiosity is what pushes science forward. Questioning.
I always felt like if you don't see the boundaries of a tool, like the limitations of it, you don't actually own that tool. Like, where is it that science stops?
But it's just about the numbers game. How do we make the human population, the worker bees, whatever, the general population live to keep our species moving forward without self-destruction?
Well, they just have to become smarter, healthier, and more adept at problem solving. I think Tim Dillon said that.
Well,
A former subprime mortgage salesman that was addicted to opiates, who now does philosophically based stand-up comedy.
Oh, interesting.
He's smart.
Okay. I mean, he was still, whatever his story is, that was pretty spot on.
Well, someone said once that philosophers are just comedians with shitty material. I think that's kind of true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the general population is a weird balance, because this maybe is a contentious claim, but it seems like the Romans figured out that, well, hey, here's a good way to stabilize a civilization. I think we're still kind of living in Rome today. It's like everything stayed the same, it just changed form. So now we have kind of the Rome situation on a global scale, because now we're so interconnected that I think we've kind of walked into a new paradigm where, in some sense, we're a global civilization to a degree.
Similar to Britain, did they just get too widespread and then?
Well, that's its own
elements.
That's a bit of a mystery how it fell, actually. They made a very egregious military blunder, attacking some island, I forget what, that they shouldn't have. And it was so obvious that it was the wrong move. It cost them not just the war, but it caused the downfall of their civilization. So my speculation, and I realize this is kind of out there, is that Rome needed to fall in order to be reborn as something higher than it was. There's a Greek word for that called apotheosis, to die mortal and become a god. And I think when Rome fell, it spread out, you know, as an ideology. You know, the Crusades, and
more religiously focused.
well, I guess you couldn't really separate Rome, the state, from Rome, the Roman Catholic Church.
There was a point when you get so large, back to the whole equilibrium or homeostasis, it wants to break into separate groups, subgroups. I think I've seen, like, you know, psych studies on this.
Just what we were talking about earlier, things kind of fractionating and coming back together.
That was earlier in the car, but yeah, so there is this kind of like overall theme here, right, with finding that homeostasis, equilibrium. Is it wants to break into these smaller sections. I guess
I have no idea where we are.
Strong enough government to keep that unity.
Yep.
But it will be interesting looking forward another 100, 200 years, what to think of the United States. I mean, we have our next generation too, is so connected. I think the identity, like a national identity, doesn't have that same feel as it does 100 years ago.
Exactly. That's a great symptom of, I think, this transition. There's a necessity to control the population in order to maintain that stability. But then in order for the civilization also to thrive, you need individuals to break the status quo and update the society as a whole.
Is that a structure? Is that like a byproduct of human civilization? Or is that just a natural biological path similar to Darwinian evolution, where there might be some type of, let's say, glitch in the code, and that glitch in the code is like an advantageous trait for that niche, that environment, and then that glitch becomes the new path forward.
In both cases, deviations from the mean are necessary for growth, and growth is required for long-term adaptation and stability.
Yes, because we live in a dynamic environment. We're still flying around this ball of fire, the sun, on a rock, flying around the Milky Way galaxy, expanding into a potentially infinite universe.
In the middle of this big black void that we have no idea what the hell it is. We have no idea what we're doing here.
Yeah. Let's walk in the woods.
I mean, you gotta lean into a love for adventure.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't, I mean, this is terrifying.
Yeah. More the reason with these advancements in technology, which I am literally a part of, for better or worse, you gotta remember to get out into the woods, get your feet on the ground, feel the earth, remember who we are and where we're from, be present.
Wake up, take a shit on a mountain.
Yeah, man. Have you ever really lived if you haven't taken a shit in the mountain?
Just a closing remark on what we were talking about before, about the necessity for everything to be controlled so it stays stable, but also we need people to deviate from the mean in order to continue to update and adapt.
Yes, because the balance is constantly changing based on the external factors that describe our environment.
So if we're trying to communicate to the masses, you know, a lot of people package this as you're doing it wrong, you're living life wrong, you fools. And I don't think that that's the way to send that message. I mean, least of all, it's not something you can explicitly teach another human. You can't say, hey, all your problems are just inside you. You just gotta, you know, figure out yourself, and the solutions will come. You know, answer yes to the calling for adventure. You know, find meaning in life. You can't pass that on to somebody explicitly. So I think there's some element of needing to meet people where they're at. And people, where are people at now? Well, they're starved for meaning. They're lost. They're in fear. Oh, this is cool.
Anxiety. We can all empathize with.
Slab climb.
Slab climb for the level of anxiety.
See this little ridge goes. Yeah. I guess we're kind of aiming just south.
Yeah, we got our general bearings.
Anxiety is, yeah, that's something I've always felt very passionately about from coping with my own anxiety when I was younger, that we overly pathologize it. Like, any bit of anxiety is like, oh, that's bad. But that's your compass talking to you.
Yeah, it's a hint.
You know, you gotta lean into it. Like, walk through the fire, as they would say. It means don't hide from your anxiety, don't squash it. You know, take a walk with yourself, figure out what it's trying to tell you.
That's why the woods are so good. You can find that clarity. Whatever it is that anxiety is telling you, you can let it free. Because once you're aware of it, it loses its power.
That was probably the single most important discovery I made in my life. I remember, like, I had a DUI and I couldn't drive to work, so I had to walk every morning at like 5 a.m., like 3 miles to go to work. This is years ago in my 20s. What's up, Tree? And I started to, you know, 3 mile walk. That's about an hour. But I started to talk to myself, you know, on that walk. And I don't think I ever had a moment where I could actually listen to my thoughts and let them speak. You know, I was always trying to squash them. You know, shut the brain up, turn off the emotions. But when you're walking, you got no choice. You got to lean into that. You know, you can't just turn that off. I actually remember I was trying to quit drinking at the time. I was walking a lot, and I kind of pictured it as an internal battle. So I'm walking, but I'm also imagining myself walking into some like underground volcano when there's demons out there, and I just rip out like a sword, and I'm like, let's go.
That's you're illustrating your internal battle, which is really cool. And then what happens when you illustrate it, or when you like project it in this, I don't know, let's say you manifest it as this video game. Yes, that's something you should find. I got you. Spotting you.
Toe switch. Oop, that's mossy. Ooh, that thumb was sketchy.
How's it up there, bud? Nice.
It's basically like 0.1% of Everest.
Pretty much.
1/10 of a tenth.
First step, baby.
Just gotta do that 10,000 more times.
Yeah, so by you visualizing it and then taking them out, it was helping you overcome whatever this was that you were taking out.
I remember it got to a point where I got so good at fighting the demons, let's say. Let's go that way. I got to this place where I started to feel bad for them, and I'd kind of like end up almost consoling one, like looking at it and being like, oh man, you're not an asshole, you're just hurt.
That's how you power up.
Yeah.
That's how you leveled up, by the way.
That's a change in your orientation towards your own internal environment.
Yeah. And then externally, this is great. Being out here.
It's kind of funny how trees couldn't exist without us, and we couldn't exist without trees.
Yeah,
Kind of like a bee couldn't exist without a flower, and a flower couldn't exist without a bee. So, I know, you want to climb everything. Yeah, me too, man.
Back to that, it's like in 4th grade, man, when like your 4th grade science, you basically learned everything.
Yeah, I'm glad you took a little hiatus from the rock gym, because you're letting me catch up a little bit. I'm projecting some 6s now.
this to you. Then it worked out for a reason. When I climb more with you again, we'll be on the same path.
This is kind of nothing fancy. Good old-fashioned scrambling.
Fun.
Oh, that's a little
Oh, look, you can see
mossy.
the little pieces, right, where the dynamite. Dynamite.
Oh, they blew this sucker in half.
Yeah, this is a product of something that got blasted.
Look at you just skipping that mantle.
Of course, why would I need that? Yeah, look at this. This is man-made, man. Drilled little pieces, cracked it. Maybe back in the day, what were they thinking about doing, like
Oh yeah, is that its friend over there? No, it's facing the wrong way.
Yeah, but
Oh, it looks like that's just the rest of it down there that fell
this
off.
was going to be a
Reservoir at one point.
But, I mean, what would they have cracked this for? Something preparing for it. Were they ever using this water for a mill?
Yep, there was a mill back here. I'm a little fuzzy on the history of these woods, but I want to look up more. I know Old New London Turnpike that cuts through here. That used to be an old carriage road in the 1700s.
Oh, this is so soft. Oh my gosh, reminds me back out in New Hampshire. You could literally fall asleep on this. I mean, I've seen enough of these like survival videos. Like this would actually be really nice. You start getting all this stuff, you feel this in a little bit. I mean, this is as cozy as a bed.
Hopefully you got something warm. I imagine it would trap dew overnight.
Yeah, you put some pine needles on it. It'll smell.
Actually, that works.
It'll smell like a Yankee Candle. Except the real version. You might get a couple bug bites and shit, but it is nice. That's so nice, man. Oh,
Okay.
I'm like a tactile human for sure.
That's gonna be the intro clip.
What's that ASMR right here?
There's been some moss in the forest. When you mention the moss, though, the first thing that always jumps to my mind is coming down Mount Lafayette in the valley.
Oh, that was so beautiful.
I think we passed by, there was some old lady hiking it, and she was like, oh, it reminds me of that movie with the blue people.
Avatar?
Avatar.
Yeah. Avatar, yeah.
Looks like Pandora. Probably tell that story quick.
That was an amazing story.
So a couple of years back, we're hiking the Franconia Ridge Loop in New Hampshire. And we're finishing up on the northernmost peak, Mount Lafayette. As we're walking the ridge line, come across this old guy surveying the trails with like one of those wheels on a stick, like taking measurements. I don't know what he was doing, but we passed him. He was going south, we were going north. And I swear to God, like 2 hours later, we're descending Lafayette and it's getting dark and we just see the same guy walking the opposite way again.
Glitch in the Matrix.
He said something too that was like a nugget of like wisdom.
Oh yeah, something profound. I mean, we were about 12 hours deep into a hike, but it was pretty profound.
Yeah, the end of that hike was kind of wild because I'm stuck off trail in some bush. I can hear you and your son like 50 yards ahead off trail as well. You're yelling for him. He's off like scrambling through some like bush. We got Jay behind us having a spiritual experience and refusing to use a headlamp. We got Jay's buddy, and I have no idea where he's at. I don't think anyone knows where he's at this time. This concludes story
that was a
time.
beautiful place that we saw. We came across this. Remember to live in the moment. Enjoy this journey because that's what it's all about.
I always try to remember you're living life as a story. You're embodying, like the character in your story. I think if you keep remembering that, then you start to get a lens for what's really important.
Yeah, you kind of sift out things that are worrying, or you find the balance, right? I think this is kind of like our little conversation today. I feel like we always have some underlying theme. I think today it's balance, homeostasis, equilibrium, however you want to package that up. It's constantly finding that homeostasis, finding equilibrium. It'll always change, but you can always nudge it in the way of, I think you just get better at it as you get older on finding.
Yeah, for sure.
Finding what's important. If you're going down that path and you're losing sight of what's important, you can reflect. And I think as you get older, instead of these oscillations being super up and down, you can kind of stabilize it a bit. So yeah, you're always changing. You're always trying to take another path, push this harder, take this direction. And you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to question things. But you're going to find ways to reflect and find that homeostasis again.
It's hard, yeah, but it has to be hard for it to be meaningful.
And then you see the output.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever been here.
You have to put in the effort though. This one's nice.
A little mossy. It's a nice crack here.
This is good. This is real good.
Ha! Cave down here. Let's see if I can scramble through the cave without touching the ground.
Oh, that's fun.
Floor is officially lava.
Here we go, baby. Woo!
It was actually satisfying.
I'm working on it. Because you have to find some way to create that tension. Oh, there's little cracks. This is fun. Woo! Ah. Just like these caves, I remember when I was a little kid, went up on a gondola. I think it was maybe like Wildcat Mountain. And they had these little caves, and I remember thinking it was so cool. I was probably seeing into my future of doing all this stuff as a man.
Oh yeah. Here's the crux right here. Can you make that karate kick?
Yeah.
I don't think I can make that.
Nope.
I know I can, but I don't want to fall into the ravine. I gotta move so I can get you to the summit. Or are you gonna try to go up there?
I have an idea.
I went the wrong way. I'm on the wrong mountain.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I want.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm spotting you.
That's a little sketch.
Yeah, we accidentally scrambled into a legit boulder.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, scout it out.
Woo! Look at these little steps over here. Okay. I took like it was a V2, right? V2 in my gym.
Oh, this is a nice jug right here. Oh, it's so wet and gross in there. Yeah, because yeah, it wasn't that precarious. You just had to find the right foot.
This was a fun one. Look at this little guy.
Dude, that got weird. We like went under a cave. What'd you see?
It's a little zigzag. Got a little wooden. That would be fun with the bike. A little sketchy.
Oh yeah.
Too, but
Oh, I didn't see that over there.
yeah.
Yeah, fuck that.
Oh, this is a fun little down climb.
Dude, in theory, what a weird boulder. Like under a cave to like a crevasse to a crack climb kind of thing.
Crabby.
Yeah, it's like a V1 down climb.
Yeah, that was fun. See, you can hardly see it from here because it's just straight flat looking down. But there's cool little pockets.
I could see that one.
It's such good boulders. It's just like the retreating glacier just dumped a bunch of big ass rocks. Like, here guys, here's your little playground. It's fun.
I don't ever see like other people out here too. It always feels like this is kind of like a hidden gem.
There's remnants of some graffiti right here. Time to edit. Gotta go take a whiz.
Word.
No peeking.
All right, that's good. Oh, I see the toe.
It's nice. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, boy. Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that flag!
Oh shit.
That was nice. That was so unnecessary at the end. I loved every minute of it.
It's definitely a V11.
What do you think, V11?
No.
A couple of remnants of old structures down here. This is a fun area. It's a hidden gem in Rhode Island. I don't know if it's hidden, honestly.
You're all hidden gems.
I
I love you.
Jeez.